Have you ever wondered what it would be like to incorporate extremely bright and large light fixtures into your cinematography? Me too. So today I'm going to be walking through our most recent commercial that we actually filmed on my property, which was pretty awesome. Sun 16 came through and a bunch of other of my friends locally, and we made a commercial happen here, which looked really awesome. But we'll get into those details later. More importantly, how I used the 1200X from Aputure. This is actually a very exciting light fixture and the largest and the most powerful light fixture I personally have in my grasp right now, which has been very exciting. And so we're going to actually walk through some other various Aputure lighting that I have that I incorporated for the shoot. So just sit back, relax. Definitely going to be sharing some tips that I've learned. And if you watched my previous video, how I was talking about my journey of lighting, this is very much in line with that still, and how I'm trying to incorporate artificial light and mixing it with natural light. And I think I've done a lot better from this job in itself. So stick around, and I would greatly appreciate it if you can like, comment, and subscribe if this video was helpful in any way.
Hanging out with my dogs, take one.
Full disclaimer, Aputure did send me this light, but as you all know from the previous videos, Aputure is a channel sponsor, so I will get my hands on these sort of lights early on. I think that's awesome, but I'm not obligated to say anything nice. Not that I'm going to bash it, because we all need lights and they make really good light fixtures, so just want to make that clear. So yeah. The concept of the project centered around a new generator from EcoFlow. This has been one of our recurring clients, and the protagonist was setting up their car or preparing for a trip, while the antagonist came with his doom and gloom monologue and yada, yada, yada. All the while not knowing that the protagonist had this new device that would get them through whatever situation. And that was the concept in a nutshell, and there's 4 spots we filmed. 3 of them here on the property and another one at a park.
We're obviously going to go higher.
Action. I just want to say, from just lighting from the entire project in itself, we used what we had available, and we wanted this to be sort of more moody. Unfortunately, we have all this sunlight, open, just open sky, and we couldn't really control much of the sun. We had some grip work or just some scrims and stuff like that and flags to kind of add more contrast to get more dramatic look. And due to our time, we really couldn't try to pull off a day for night type of scene or day for evening, whatever that looks like. So we had to just make it work. And for the most part, the few scenes that we did start with was underneath a tree. So we used open shade. That allows us to get the exposure down where we need it and then add light. So this scene here underneath this tree was probably one of my favorites, though you can still see a lot of bright sunlight behind the character and off to the side. So I just used the sun as motivation here. We actually brought in the Nova 600 because the 1200X was not delivered yet. It delivered in the middle of the day. Now with the Nova, I didn't cut it anymore. We just used the softbox on it. We had one of the affinity bars there to kind of give a catch light and a bounce and some negs and kind of just wrap it all together. But if I had the 1200X, here's what I would have done. One of the major benefits of having a larger, more powerful light source is that you can make these adjustments to really match the sun. So not saying 1200 is as powerful as the sun, but you can have the ability to have more control. This is what you really want to have if you need a specific look. So that's what we're doing here. We're going to control it with some grid and just make it feel as natural as it can as we wrap this. Granted, this is not exactly the same angle we shot for the commercial, but you get the idea. This is what I would possibly have done during that scene. And this is just the 150 dome. You would do this with an ultra balance with the reflector, and then you double diffuse it, you diffuse it again. So you have all those options with a light this powerful. So who are you?
I'm Christian Donahoe. I own Motto Motion Company, Motto Moco for short. I work out of the South Bend area and the Tampa, Florida area.
And so you are a 1200D owner. So what are your first impressions of the new 1200X?
Well, without turning anything on, 1200X is just bigger. Bigger form factor, bigger case.
1200X is cabling. The previous one is like almost like a massive limo port, right? And we did see if this actually fits into the 1200X, but it does not.
Not gonna go.
Not gonna go. This, you have this little white dot here, and then you line that up here. Is there a twist? Do you pull? What do you do? Oh, okay. Oh, that's interesting. So it's a twist. You twist this. That's actually kind of nice. So you go there and then twist up. Done. Okay. There it is. There's a click. The modifiers for the wide, medium, and narrow are just larger with the 1200X versus the original D. Yeah, it's a bigger light overall. The one thing that I'm excited for, honestly, is just the locking port here. Now, the very first thing I noticed about the new 1200X is the new Bowen's mount. This is a huge deal. This is sort of like a PL mount for lighting fixtures. Before, I really hated putting on light fixtures like a large modifier or, a spotlight, whatever. And I hated the fact that you had to twist. And that's been like the standard for forever with this sort of mount. But now they just kind of did the reverse. Instead of you having to twist, you just place it in and then pull the hinge like a PL mount if you do with PL lenses, and it locks in. This is so much easier now because you can handle larger modifiers, just slide it in and lock it and you're done. No fussing, no fighting. Thank you, Aputure, for changing this feature, and it's something I wish I have on all of my other lights now because I can't go back. That's so much better.
Yeah,
All right, let's see.
I'm sold.
All right, it's still annoying because this is a big modifier, but like once you get it in, lock it, good.
So we're gonna do a speed test. We're gonna see how fast it takes Christian to change his and how fast it takes Josh to change his. So we got them on the floor. All right, I'm gonna give you guys a 3, 2, 1, and then I'll say go, all right? 1, go.
I think you got me.
So what we have here, our lovely model, Peyton, and we have the 1200X with the 50 dome, but we took off as you can see, flapping the wind. We took off the fusion and we're just letting it blast her face, and we actually see a difference here. So we're using the sun as backlight, and we're just going to just wrap it, and we're going to go at 100%. So let's just go. Before we even do that, I need to format this card.
Take two.
Make sure I'm actually focused on our eyes. Great, and then you can strike. Yeah. Worked as it should. If you probably want to finesse it, we could probably go like 75. And then this is where you probably would use like some other diffusion, a little closer to soften it up. That's actually very pretty. I mean, for what it is, it's pretty bare, yeah.
Kill it real quick,
Just to see it quick, yeah.
and then bring it back.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, that really makes a difference.
And we're at 56?
Yeah.
Cool. And then obviously other ways you can modify this. You can use the narrow cone and then shoot through, soft frost or something else that you want. So many different options. You could bounce it. Yeah, you could just do booklight maybe, bounce it to ultra bounce. You good? You okay? Yeah. Okay. I understand if it's like, oh my gosh. It gets bright. But yeah, this is actually the light you would want to use if you want to combat the sun or just like help the sun kind of wrap around. Now, granted, behind me, we actually have my barn here that's actually bouncing sunlight. But as you just saw, if you want to turn it off again, you can actually see that we're still pretty much in shadow here. And so once you turn it back on, gives you a little bit of that kiss and you got some nice separation.
Hang some glizzies off here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Roast them up.
Normally, bicolor lights are just a little bit less bright than their, fixed daylight counterparts. But in this case, the 1200X kind of edges out the 1200D in a lot of the categories. And so this is really cool to see that Aputure is really pushing the boundaries even more with the light fixtures. And I would prefer, I'm not a gaffer or anything, but I like having the option to just go warm or cool on the fly and have very color accurate, especially in the whites, very accurate lights. And I'm not going to be sitting here doing like a very scientific type of testing and everything, but I will say skin looks great under this light. And I was just very pleased to see that I don't lose any power and trying to sacrifice having bicolor. I have more power now, and I can throw on these larger modifiers to throw light, very far with the narrow beam or spread it and kind of modify that with the wide beam. It's just the versatility just speaks a lot. And this is going to be a really great fixture for whoever needs something as versatile as this light. It's powerful. You can run it off of house power. And you have all these modifiers to get you so many different looks. And I'm just really happy with this unit.
About what it said on here, it said to do 1450, right? And that's, what is it reading there? 1424?
1425, yeah.
That's what this is rated for, is 14?
No, so this says
On the back here.
Oh.
220.
Okay.
6.7 amp, 1450 watts.
Dang.
Sure.
I need to get an EcoFlow.
Yes, you do, brother. So, you notice that the cob here is different. So that's the cob on the 1200D, and then the cob now on the 1200X has these like little tiny reflection glass. I guess that can help narrow the light too, I'm guessing. I don't know, I'm not a scientist. I just like good light.
Yeah.
This is a good light.
It looks cooler, that's all that matters, you know?
It does, this is like diamonds.
Shinier. Yeah, then it's not really
You need
an
some
improvement at all.
WD-40 there, brother. I got some in the bag over there.
Slowly maybe.
Oh, yeah, that's sexy.
Yeah, so no change or improvement with that.
Oh, look at the fan. Oh, there are 3 fans underneath this thing. Yeah, this 1, 2, 3 fans. Got 1 fan on that guy. It's a little thicker here, so it gives you a tad bit more height.
Oh, yours.
It works that way. Those little details are quite nice. So there's a
Now I gotta make sure that there's none on this, which I don't think there are.
so there's a 3/8 here. 1,
got something here.
2. I saw one at the top. No, just 2. Okay. Oh no, here these little feet have some.
Wow.
Even up here, all 4 of them. Wow, so you can.
Put a little magic arm in there or something?
Yeah.
Or?
Here's one thing though, Aputure, love you guys, but this, for these bigger balusters, the connection point here to lock it in, this would be great if it was updated so it could just be more secure, because you can easily just, this is a flick, and then it can come right off.
And that's not new either, all the rounds are that way.
All of them are like that.
It takes a little bit of a, it can come right off. So.
One thing I was talking about here is I'm so used to the 600 and the 1200 where you can easily just run up and down. And one thing I'm noticing with this screen is A, out here in the bright sunlight, when the sun's hitting it, it's hard to read. And B, when you go to select the different modes, it's kind of difficult to tell like off the fly what's selected and what isn't, because there's just a red box that goes over it. And
Look at the
so the red box is there and then you select and it turns the thing you're changing to black, which if you're just using it for the first or second time, it's kind of hard to differentiate.
Oh, wait, don't do
selected, there's bright sunlight. So if they like made that box maybe, and this could be software or firmware, you know, just made that box green when you're selected and then red when you're deselected or something, would be like orders of magnitude better. But it works, you just gotta get used to it.
There's this one scene where we're filming at the doorway and the camera is looking into the house. Now, I don't want this scene to look so dark and grim, so I was like, hey, let's throw up the 1200, let's shine it through my window, which is off to the left. Though the sun was positioned on camera right, you know, this is where I think I can have some liberty here, where we were under a shade, so we just make sure we diffuse this so it's even light across, and so that allowed us to have a base. Then we brought in some neg. I wish we brought in more neg. It was hard to get close because the lenses that we were using were anamorphic lenses, so you couldn't cheat the blocking as much. You can cheat it on the height, but the width, you're kind of losing out. But we tried to get as close as we could. And then we had the 1200X shining through the window, which gives us some texture on the background right behind the talent. And then to bring up some of the ambient, we had my 600 Nova in the background shooting up to it just to lift the ambient a little bit. The 1200X running at 30%, and we got nice levels on the background there. And then the Nova probably around 20 or whatever percent. But yeah. Cool, y'all. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. Is there anything that I could have done better? Make sure to leave that comment below. I love to learn, and this is the community I really want to build. But until then, I catch you guys on the next one.